Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. And I'm here because I got something to share with you. How many of you have ever heard of something called the Lamb's Book of Life? Many of you have heard of that. If you are a Christian, I'm sure, if you've gone to the church a couple of times, I'm sure, and if you've gone to the church a lot, frequented a lot, you've heard of the Lamb's Book of Life a lot. How many of you have heard of the 144,000? How many of you have heard of the 144,000? I bet you've heard all kinds of information relative to what that is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, I just did a piece called Judgment Day. And I called it Judgment Day because it represented a time having spent 400 years in bondage, that another prophecy had said that these people who had been in bondage would rise up and that great things would happen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in this day and in this time. We have seen a coronavirus walk through the community, indiscriminately doing its damage wherever it chose. We don't know where it come from, if it's made by man, a miracle. Whatever the situation is, it existed and the damage was done. And for most part, as far as we know, it might still be doing its damage. We don't know. We have seen the power structure of the United States of America as representative of all of the governments on the face of the earth. All of the governments of the face of the earth are represented at one time or another, one phase or another in the government, the present current government of the United States of America. It represents someone in power. It represents someone with authority over others. It represents the abuse of that authority over others. It's representative of the world's conduct towards its people, regardless of what oath they took, what promise they made. This is the lie being exposed and revealed. It shows that those that are suffering are crying out. It doesn't matter whether they are under a policeman's knee, being choked to death, as was George Floyd in Minnesota, or whether they are the people across the border trying to get across this side, running from stuff like that George Floyd experienced. They didn't know we did it over here, too, because we presented a different image to the outside. But now the world can see us for what we are. And also, as the public stood around recognizing what was happening and crying out for redress, crying out as was George Floyd, get off our necks, I can't breathe. And listening to the lies and the promises that have been coming back and back and back and back and forth. The world sees the people who are giving up on that, and they're starting to take matters in their hands, and like that power that gives peace between Russia and the United States, that gives peace on the highway when you're driving, is going to give peace between the way we treat one another. When you have nothing to lose, my friends, you got nothing to lose. But if you got everything to lose, you got everything to lose. So I'm saying to you, listen today. When the people of the world are crying out, they're good people all around, all over the globe, in Russia, in China, in North Korea, in Germany, in America, They're good people. Yet and still, none of their goodness has prevented 400 years of this persecution on blacks and people of color, the minority and poor whites. And so now, we have seen it. The world has seen it. Every American has seen it. Every American is seeing it. In one form or fashion, every American is experiencing it. And you're talking about making some changes, just like you always said. But there are those now who are saying after 400 years, there's only one change that you can make. Anything other than this is no change at all. It's just a repeat of the same stories that's running around in the box, being told over and over as solutions that have been proven wrong. Now, my friends, if this evil one that's in the White House now, and all of his supporters who walk around with their heads down, cowards, like little demons under the pressure of glorious righteousness, nothing to say, afraid to say anything unless it confirms what their boss has said and what their boss is thinking, even though they know it's wrong. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll all get a chance. November, if this devil doesn't come up with something to try to prevent your participation in the election, and he will try it. I'm sure he's planning everything he possibly can to prevent it, but he will not be able to stop the will of the people. And so you just make sure when you go to those ballot boxes, remember who represents evil, who represents the authority behind all of your 400 years of persecution. And that's everybody who's been persecuted. Who represents it? Are you going to vote for that again? On the other hand, who represents, who's played a part by allowing this persecution to exist for 400 years? Who represents that? Are you going to vote for a return to that? What you know now, the new knowledge that you have, what are you going to do with it? Well, I heard somebody say that a life is not worth living if it's not worth dying for. So, when you go to those polls, what are you going to do? Are you going to sign the Lamb's Book of Life by excluding those who are listed as choices and go to the top or wherever that spot is that says write in? And ladies and gentlemen, all of those of you who deserve to be in the Lamb's Book of Life, I say who deserve to be, I'm not talking about people who just want to be there. They will sign the Lamb's Book of Life. And what is that Lamb's Book of Life representing? It's representing that we are through with this death. The ones who are signing this are saying we're through with this hell that we've been living. The ones signing this are saying that we represent a new form of life, a form of life that works for everybody, every citizen in America. It gives to us those things that we crave, that we consider as being inalienable, because without any of them, we feel that we've been robbed of our life. We've been robbed of peace and prosperity and freedom. We've been robbed of the joy of life and the fulfillment of our dreams. Not only that, we've been denied the fulfillment of our food, clothing, and shelter as we would have it. Education and healthcare the same. And we've been at odds with one another ever since we can remember. Hey, and that's the only way Trump became president of the United States. That's the only way. But now you can sign the Book of Life, because this thing between good people, you know what you've done. You facilitated every evil that exists on the face of the earth because you did nothing to stop it. You say, oh, I tried. No, that wasn't good enough. So now the choice really is yours, because the devil has made his choice, and those over there with the devil, they know what they're doing. The ones that's over here standing up for what is right, that ain't gonna take this stuff no more, they know exactly what they're doing. It's you in between who are confused. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sign the Lamb's Book of Life? Or are you just gonna go over there and get with evil? I mean, if that's you, that's you. God ain't mad. I'm here telling you this. Why? Because God wants you to know the truth. The truth that's being revealed. The lie is exposed. This is why. This is Judgment Day. This is why. This is your choice. Do you choose to walk in life, or do you choose to walk in death? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.